15 minutes left, and we got to get to the logistics of stories. And for mine, I'm going to tie in a cargo crime aspect to it at the end. So I don't know if maybe you want to set up your logistics of
Yes.
source to porch story, which is what we're calling it now. So source to porch, which is the logistics of, and then we each pick a product that we like learning about the logistics process of it. So set up yours for us really quick.
So mine is you're probably like, goodness grace, like we already have Halloween decorations in stores now. Why are we going this way? I'm bringing this type of company up because if you are trying to sell out there and get these accounts, today is the day that you need to move on them, because if you don't land these accounts by like October minimum, you're probably not going to move any of this freight at all this year. And that's good old Christmas trees. First off, big Christmas gal here. Love the holiday, all about it. Love a Christmas tree. Love a real one. Do you own a fake one though? Uh, I, I Christmas tree are an insane thing to move. They are they're funny because you cannot trust pretty much any type of ratings tool to truly figure out what their rates are. I remember just botching an RFP one year because I did not realize how much especially the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest, how much like it costs to move these trees. And now as you're watching this, like realize how much work goes into not only like getting them prepared to move, how dirty that is, right? So drivers hate
Heavy.
it. Yeah, heavy. And it takes so much time to load these things. And also add on top of it, they're a special type of freight that has a deadline to hit on delivery, or else they're completely worthless. Unless you're one of those freaks of nature who keeps your trees up till March, which is not me. I am not that person. I love Christmas when Christmas is due. But that Dutchman right there is a huge one, and you could see how big their plan is. So it's like you can't just send any carrier in who can't drive on. Yeah, let's right there in through snow throughout. Those aren't paved roads right there, and that's a lot of times you'll get these, and those loads take hours and hours to load, and they have special delivery requirements. A lot of times they're in vans or
Oh,
reefers,
cool.
depending on the temperature outside. So they take a lot of work. And I just love I love a segment of the industry that has like such a tight deadline, right? It's like reminds
Mhm.
me of like pumpkin season. Like they come
Yes.
out and they get delivered in a certain amount of time, and that's it. Same thing for these, right? Like they're
And
pricey.
fireworks too, like
Yes.
any of
Yep.
those, like, facilities that have, like, the pop-up destinations around the
Yes.
holidays, I think are just fascinating, where the
Look
company I
at
used
that
to
line
work
of
at.
trucks.
That's
Yikes.
crazy. We used to do Christmas trees and pumpkins,
Love it.
at the company that I worked at, and so it was always, like, one of those, like, feast or famine, like, you have to get these shipments in, otherwise you're gonna lose the contract, and if you lose the
Yeah.
contract, then that's seasonal freight that, is gonna be really challenging to get fulfilled or keep that customer in the future. There's another video that
Yeah,
you,
so this video, this is actually a customer I used to have, and I love them because they had this snazzy way of loading. They basically had these ramps, and you'll see here they use like these forklifts, and one forklift will bring over the tree, the other one will load it in there. So the thing again about Christmas trees is a lot of times when you're negotiating with carriers, they're like, listen, I'm gonna like murder my whole day with these. It's going to take forever to load. These guys would get, on average, these trees loaded in less than an hour.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes the most I'd see it was like 2 hours, and that was if they had more than one truck there. They're a small company, so that rarely happened. But there was nothing I loved more than selling those loads. There was some times where I would bet drivers, like I tell them like it's Christmas trees and but it won't take that long to load. They'll get you in and out in likely an hour. And they'd be like, that's not possible. And I would be like, bet, how about this? I'll put in the Raycon. If it takes you more than an hour, you owe me $50. If it take and like I would have fun with it because they would never believe me, and they would call me afterwards and like, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there, but they just like they got it down. There was also another really fun company that we worked with that They would take a while to load, but they had built like a whole like game shed for carriers. So like carriers could go take naps. They had like beds in there.
Oh, that's cool.
They had like Xboxes and like all this stuff so you could play video games. And then they also bought like pizza or some type of like dinner every night. So yeah, you're gonna be here for 8 hours, but you're gonna get fed well, you're gonna have a warm bathroom, you're gonna have things to do. And again, drivers would like be like, sure, sure. And then you get a call afterwards, like that was like low key a fun day. And I'm like,
Heck
yeah.
yeah. That's I
So
think BCB Transport has like a whole like separate office just for their drivers that it has like a whole kitchen area so you can there's typically food that's available there for you to eat, or if you would want to cook something yourself, they have like recliners, TVs, showers,
mhm.
places where you can relax, just all catered specifically for the drivers. And so I think if you're taking care of your drivers, then that's a pretty good sign that you are, if you have a dedicated space like that.
Yeah. It's easier to sell too as a
Yeah.
broker, right? Like, let people know that stuff because that stuff will bring your rates down more than you think.
Heck yeah. And it'll also make for happy drivers, happy drivers. Tell other drivers about their happy situation. And then if you have a bunch of happy drivers working for you, then you're probably going to have more on time shipments. You're going to maybe be able to lower your insurance premium because they're being safer. There's lots of residual effects to that.
Yep.